Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. That's right, we are back for our second match of the night, and we are tiptoeing our way into the Challenger League, where we have the 4-3 motion going up against the undefeated Raptors, which I'm trying to remember. I got a terrible memory, I'm sure you know, but Raptors won the championship last season. I hope I didn't mess that up.
Yeah, you are correct.
All right, cool. And
yeah,
right there, ladies and gentlemen, is my co-host in the booth tonight. Gallium, not my co-host. That's kind of a weird thing. My co-caster, I should say.
Yeah.
My co-caster. Gallium, how you doing, buddy?
And I'm doing all right, Psycho. You know, I saw that I was casting a Raptors game, and I got excited because I honestly think out of all the Challenger teams, I think the Raptors are my favorite to cast because they're just so exciting. Every single Raptors game that I've casted, which has been like, this is probably my third, has been just like super exciting. So I'm just excited to get into it. And Psycho, I think you know who both these teams have on their roster.
Yeah, and you know, the Raptors returning champions, but I'm not sure how much of the roster's returning. I feel like it's a completely new roster. Looking at it, we have I'm gonna mess this up. Boxel, Blah. They rounded. Maybe the sub or not, but the lowest MMR is Jake, and Smegalodon, the big homie in management, is also on the undefeated Raptors. And then on the other side, we have Motion that's coming in with Egg Tip TM, Shawnee X Galaxy, the longtime Nemesis homie Inverse, and to round that one off, they've got their GM as well, Big C Dubs. So this is a battle of GMs. It just dawned on me. I didn't realize that they were both in Challenger League. I thought C Dubs was still in Prospect, but he moved up. Congrats, Big C.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. So a little about these two teams. So Egg Dip and Smegalodon. So Egg Dip plays obviously for Motion. He's 4th in the league for goals right now, which is pretty insane. So dude is absolutely goated, absolutely cracked. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, on the Raptors side, Smegalodon is 6th for goals. So we got some pretty good leaders up here. And as this game is underway, you know, I know you always ask me for predictions, but what's your prediction, Psycho?
To be honest, it's hard to say. I mean, I think, excuse me, I think logically it's going to be Raptors. I haven't seen too much Challenger League play this season. Unfortunately, I've been, you know, most of the time the Challengers have been on stream. I've been having to do something else. So I'm not sure who's doing big, but Big C-Dubs is doing big right here, right now. 30 seconds into game one. Motion's going to take the first lead of the series.
Yeah, a big goal coming out. A little unfortunate defense coming out from the Raptors. Not a great way to start the game, but C-Dubs just putting it in with the new Battle Pass card. You love to see it.
Which Battle Pass card is that? You have to point it out to me. You said Big C-Dubs using. I haven't got a chance to look at it.
I forget what the card's name is. I think the Battle Pass like just dropped today. So forgot what the card's called, but it looks cool. Oh my gosh, what a chance there. But yeah, these two teams, crazy. Wow, crazy
huge
start.
Hit. Huge shot from him. Smegalodon coming out, wanting to tie things up as quickly as possible. A minute gone from game number one. As it's passed down, Smegalodon looking like he went to leave it, but he's got to challenge it anyways to beat out Motion in the midfield. Boxel sends it all the way down. That one almost on net, but he can't get to the double inverse. Going to beat him out in front of Motion's net. Big C-Dubs with the 50, trying to keep it away from Motion's net. Big C-Dubs looking for the clear. A bit of a miscommunication comes out as both of those Motion members pull off the ball. Blah with the shot that's going to go high. Egg to take it away. Boxel putting it back on, but Big C-Dub's going to go up and get the touch there. Smegalodon to pop it up. Egg going to stick with it. And Blah to send that one out of Raptors defensive zone. 3 minutes left on the clock so far here, Gallium. And, I mean, Motion is surprising me right now. They are doing a very good job holding this lead against Raptors.
And as you say that, a shot is going to creep on in from Smegalodon. Old man is going to score that one.
That's a yikers, man. That came out right perfectly. Wow, Smegalodon able to clean that one up for the Raptors, taking the lead away from Motion. We got a tie ball game in the first half still of game number 1. Egg gets the demo, the double commit coming out from Motion, and Blah is going to send that away in the midfield. Big C-dubs there for the touch. Inverse gets a double, but doesn't get it the double he's looking for. Egg to send that all the way down. Big C-dubs doesn't see the pass. Turns a little bit too late, but he's still there. They're trying to sustain some pressure. And Boxel taking that away. Inverse to keep it. Smegalodon is up, but he can't get the touch. No. Inverse gonna put a lofty shot straight over him.
Shout out to Inverse's flip cancel there. That was beautiful. But the pop shot just sneaking into that bottom right corner. Little unfortunate, obviously, for this defense. And honestly, all the goals that have been scored so far have just been, I think, defensive miscues. So in order for a team to really take a stake in the series or start to really dominate, I'm going to have to see some offensive pressure. And I expect to see that from either team, to be honest. I think both these teams are coming out hot, and they're firing on all cylinders here, Psycho.
Yeah, possibly a little stream nerves going on in game number 1 here. I'm not sure which of these teams, if either of these teams have been streamed yet this season, but it's not uncommon to see the first stream for a team that play a little bit nervous in the first game. Typically, it subsides by the second game. You get used to, the fact that you're being watched by, 30 to 60 people, and you just get back into playing your game. Both of these teams battling for pressure. Egg with the pop in the mid. Blah is there, gets the touch down to Smegalodon, but he can't beat out. Big C-dub's going to bounce off the crossbar. Egg with the shot, and Buxel with a huge save on the goal line. Blah just doing everything that he can to get it out of Raptors zone. The ball gets missed. Egg going to back pass Inverse, looking to take control here off of the ceiling, but can't get the follow. Boxel's there, gets a flip reset, but holds the maybe he didn't have it. Looked like he might have. It's going to get cleared away regardless. 60 seconds left on this clock. Smegalodon Motion still holding this 2-1 lead against the undefeated Raptors. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with this Motion team so far. And I think if they want to take this Raptor team down, I feel like they were going to have to come out of the gates strong game 1. And that's exactly what we're seeing from them so far. In total, we have 6 shots on net for Motion. And on the opposite side of the ball, we have 7 for Raptors. So both teams actually getting a lot of shots in. And honestly, these shots are being well defended on both sides.
Fully agree there, but will Raptors be able to break through the Motion defense in the final 20 seconds of game 1? Or will Motion be able to secure a game 1 win against the Raptors? 10 seconds left on the clock. Buxel looking to try and get something going. Blah's there, keeping the pressure alive. Smeg is up, but he can't get the touch. It doesn't matter. Buxel comes in at the final second to clean up the play. We are tied, ready to go into overtime.
Psycho, I'm so disappointed in you that you didn't say this is Rocket League. That was the perfect opportunity. Tisk, tisk, tisk. But anyway, sorry. Just this amazing goal. Sorry for calling you out there. But just amazing goal from Raptors. You obviously, the 50 up there, C-Dubs gets 50'd, and I think that's what starts the whole play. Just gets the whole play in motion, and everything from then on is just great work. And going into overtime here, I need to get your predictions, Psycho.
Man, it is really hard for me to call it out, but I'm a dude that goes for the little guy every time. I'm gonna go with Motion. No disrespect to the Raptors. I think that they're playing a great game. I just think that Motion really wants to give them their first loss, and they're technically the underdog according to their record. So I'm going to go with them. Oh, my goodness. Inverse with a huge shot, but it bounces off of the post. That could have been it. 40 seconds in, And this is some pretty high octane stuff so far. Inverse with the pop up, but this could be dangerous. Smegs there can't get the touch to put it on net. Boxel not able to get it through either. Blah is back as Inverse gets another long ball on net. Smegalodon to pop it up. 60 seconds now into this overtime in game number one. Both of these teams probably white knuckle on their controllers, gritting their teeth right now, Gallium. Who do you think has the upper hand at this point?
I think the Raptors have the upper hand so far, even though the motion. Oh my! Oh no!
Oh
my! It's Megalodon. What have you done? I think the fake. You bit on the fake a little too hard, and that's going to be an overtime victory for the Raptors in game one.
Game number one going to the Raptors. Huge win for them, especially given that they were trailing through most of that game number one. Motion was controlling the flow of the game, if you will, but Raptors able to pull it out there in the final seconds. What was there, like 1 second left whenever Boxel scored that tying goal?
Yeah, there was 1 second. I have to say, this win was so massive for the Raptors. I think, honestly, to beat a team like Motion, who came out so strong and whose defense is just, I mean, considering the amount of shots that were put in net, their defense really held up. I think it's really important that they got this game one win to really stake their claims as the top team and challenger right now. And if this Motion team wants to come back in any sort of fashion, I feel like they just need to step up the pressure a little more. Try to maybe get some counterattacks off that Raptors offense. I don't know if the Raptors really have the defense, the counterattack defense necessary to keep up with this Motion roster. So we'll see. But this shot gonna sneak on in from Inverse, and that's an early 1-0 lead.
That is very early. Motion taking the lead, the first lead in both game one and two, but it was a lot faster in game two. But a little bit, it looked like maybe some miscommunications coming out from the defense of Raptors there. They weren't expecting that long ball, but they got to start expecting it because Inverse has put like 2 or 3 on the net so far, and this is only game number 2 of the series. So that is obviously either I don't know if it's just, coincidence or if it's a tactic of Inverse, but I wouldn't be surprised these challenger players are pretty crafty when it comes to, mechanics. They're not quite Titan players, obviously. They're not rivals either. Boxel said, "I will be your rival," as he ties things up.
Oh my goodness. So unfortunate. The pass came out. The defender misses on that one, and Boxiel just put it in the back of the net. I will say, this Boxiel fella, he's looking really mechanical right now. I've noticed that he's just looking really solid, and I feel like every time the camera shows what he's doing something really mechanical, and I really liking what he's bringing to this Raptors team so far.
Yeah, I think that he has been a big proponent for the Raptors side, at the very least in this series. Well, I'm not sure if quite sure if he's been there been with them the whole season or if he's new. I don't have that information. However, he is looking hot, and I'm sure the Raptors are glad to have him with them. As the first minute and 15 seconds is gone from game number 2, Smegalodon trying to get a big banger. Big C-Dubs back to get the touch. Boxel in the corner. Boxel sticking with it, but he can't get the touch. He's looking for a block. Gets a pass out, and Smeg is there. Picks it up and gets his first goal in this game.
The passing plays are beautiful. Blah to Smegalodon. And don't forget about Boxiel on that play. That 50 was huge to send that ball into the midfield right where Blah could get it over to Smegalodon. Beautiful play, and now 2-1 here. It's looking pretty dire from for Motion at this point. Even though they're only down 1 in game 2, I mean, the Raptors are an amazing team. If you let them score another goal here, it's pretty much wraps, and Smegalodon making sure what I said is coming to life here.
Yeah, Raptors starting to actually show us why they have been dominating the Challenger League thus far. I mean, game number one, they're playing nothing like they did in game number one. They just kicked up the aggro like 10 levels. And I mean, personally, I'm loving it. I feel really bad for Motion. They need to step up their game a little bit here if they're going to expect to compete with a completely awakened Raptors roster. Big C-Dubs trying to do just that. Shot's not going to go. Inverse getting in there, trying to get the 50 through. But Smegalodon takes control. Smegalodon sticking with it. Inverse with the block. Big C-Dubs pops it up. Inverse is there, but he can't find the touch. Boxel's going to try and follow. It's cleared away by Egg Dip. And Blah sticking with it. Boxel's there. Tries to get the 50. Goes in favor of C. Big C-Dubs sticking with it out of the corner. Blah takes it away from him. Inverse pops it up. This could be dangerous for the Raptors, but Blah is there to send it back across the mid. Big C-Dubs to keep the pressure up for Motion. Egg Dip off the backboard. Inverse off the backboard. Big C-Dubs can't beat out the defender in time, and the ball is going to get cleared away with a little over 2 minutes left on this clock here, Gallium. And, man, Motion is just fighting tooth and nail, but Raptors are not allowing them to get any sort of sustained pressure.
Yeah, and I think the key difference here is both of them have the same amount of shots, except for that one that just went for the Raptors. So the Raptors have one more shot. But basically, the point I was trying to make is they both had 4 shots at the time that I was trying to make my point, and the Raptors have 3 goals. They're definitely taking these chances and they're running away with them. And that's exactly what you need to do with these quality chances. I feel like Motion just haven't taken enough advantage of their chances, and that's something that's so crucial, especially in the higher ranks. You got to take advantage of your chances because they're so few and far in between, especially with these good defenses, Psycho.
Yeah, that's very true. And there's been several throughout the series so far and in this game, several post shots coming out from Motion. To be honest, I think 2 alone in this game. If they had scored both of those shots, we'd have a tie ball game here going into the final 60 seconds. Inverse and Egg Dip gonna try and make the teamwork get something through, but it doesn't work out for them. But they don't get punished for the double. Smegalodon there puts it up in front of the net, and Boxel's gonna get it around the last defender. 50 seconds left on the clock. Raptors seeming unstoppable.
Yeah, the Raptors are really taking flight here as Boxel put in another one in the back of the net in this game. And I think something that's pretty funny is Blah, who's on top of the leaderboard, doesn't have a goal, but instead has 3 assists and 4 saves, which is absolutely ridiculous. Really just passing the rock, saving the ball. Blah is doing a lot behind the scenes, and I'm sure much appreciated, but C-Dubs making this a little questionable for the Raptors here late.
It's a good move for Motion. Not necessarily that it's going to save them, but it at least gets them out of the funk, gets them into a different groove, if you will, as they probably feel at least a little bit better about themselves in the final 40 seconds. Even if game number 2 is a loss for them, they still have a chance to get the reverse sweep off, so they need all the momentum going forward. But Blah gonna kind of shut that down a little bit. You know, that peg that they tried to raise, he's just trying to knock them back off it.
Yeah, the Polish decal really showing there, the World Cup decal. Beautiful strike, obviously. I think it was a little bit of a defensive miscue. I think they ran into each other. I think that's what caused the chance there. But again, just great strike, and we're just seeing the Raptors really start to pile it on here, and that's not what you want to see if you're a fan of Motion or in the Momentum org. And it's just looking really desperate for Motion at this point, and I think they just need to get a goal here. They need to get a goal to get at least some fragment of momentum as the clock is ticking down, and I think pretty sure the Raptors are going to win this one, Psycho.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking, well, actually, it's impossible at this point. Raptors are going to take game number 2, setting themselves up at match point. They only need one more. If they get the next one, they get the sweep on Motion, send Motion home. Just in a bad way. You hate to get swept, and you hate to see it. I mean, we want the content. We want the game 5. Motion, bring us back. I think that I don't think that they, Gallium, I know that they have it in them. They can do this. They just have to, I don't know what they have to do. Maybe you know what they have to do. You're a higher level player than me.
Okay, first up, I'm not that much of a higher level player, but I appreciate the compliment. honestly, Motion, they're looking pretty good on defense, but if you keep the ball in your zone, you're obviously going to create that immense field of pressure, and I feel like that they just need to go ahead and try to break that. I feel like that as a defense, they're playing too clumped together, and I feel like they just need to play spread out, get some wingers over on the sides, try to spread the ball down in the midfield, and try to get it into the opponents, and really try to create some quality chances. Because I feel like despite of what the shots have said, I feel like some of the chances that were created weren't as quality as they could have been, and I feel like getting the ball in the midfield and getting it into that offensive zone will definitely help.
And that is gonna be the first goal coming out from, you know it, the man himself, Boxel, who's been pretty much just running things on this pitch tonight.
Oh my, it looks like an SSG passing play right there. That was beautiful stuff, and I think Blah got the demo there, and just honestly beautiful play from every single one of these Raptor members, and you could tell the confidence is just oozing from them as you see that beautiful save coming out from Boxel here. This whole Raptors roster is looking to really take Challenger by storm.
Yeah. Oh, and the double commit coming out from Raptors. And will Motion be able to capitalize on this? Egg not able to get it through. Looked like him and Smeg gonna fake each other out there. Boxel can't get the flip reset, nor does it get through the defense. Egg drip. Oh, dangerously and holding on to the ball in front of his net. Blah trying to get that ball through, but he does a good job 50 and keep it out. Inverse getting not the touch he's looking for, but a flip reset it looked like. Boxel going to take control in the midfield, flicks it past one, pops it up, sticking with the ball, the double commit. Raptors playing a little bit too fast for themselves, it seems. Either that or they're dropping comms. Maybe they're just like, hey, you know, we got this win. It doesn't really matter. We can just chase at this point. But the long ball is going to punish them, all three being a little bit too far up.
Yeah, that ball was boomed out of a level 3 mortar from Clash of Clans, baby. Just sneaking in the back of the net, and I feel like Inverse might have stolen that one a little bit. You know, might be a little bit of a discussion going on between them. I know I would be a little upset if somebody stole my goal, but again, I still, even with that goal, I still feel like Motion have not put enough quality chances on the Raptors' net. And we saw one earlier in the game, but since then, it's been kind of dry from their offense, and I think their offense is going to have to start going now more than ever here, Psycho.
Yeah, they really need to start playing like they did for most of game one, because they were hot and they were holding the lead and they were really threatening to the Raptors. But after that, it's like game two was like, you know, the Raptors just ran away with it, and the Raptors were able to pull things back in game number one in the final seconds. So they really clutched up whenever it mattered. And, you know, that makes them extremely dangerous, especially where Motion has them right now at a tie ball game. You know, this Motion roster is going to really want like a 2 to 3 point lead to feel comfortable against the Raptors. And as we enter in to the second half of game number 3, possibly the last game of the series, if Raptors are able to take the lead and hold it, or possibly Motion will force the game 4 and even possibly the game 5. You would love to see the potential reverse sweep for the content, as Boxel is going to bounce that one out. He's going to go for the boost and leave it, but he 50s against the Motion player in the midfield. Inverse getting it past Blah. Boxel there to take control of it. Boxel to stick with it. Demos big C-dubs and leaves. Inverse pops it up, beaks out Smeg. Boxel still back 50s with Inverse. Inverse going to go for the bump as he rotates out. Big C-dubs off the backboard, but Blah sends that one all the way down. It's not going to be on net, or that definitely would have went in. Boxel can't get it through the defense. Egg Drip going to clear it out to the midfield. Blah taking control, and the Raptors defensive zone looked like he was going for the bump play there, but he did not have enough boost, I would guess, as Inverse sends that one away. Boxel pops it up. Egg Drip is there. Motion looking to sustain some pressure here in the final 60 seconds. We still got a tied ball game, Gallium. But I got to say, Motion is looking a lot better than they did in game 2.
Yeah, honestly, they've started to pick it up a little bit, but if I'm being honest, I would just like to point out that I feel like if Raptors weren't double committing as much, or I feel like they're oozing a little too much with confidence, because I feel like they're just going for a lot of double commits here. I feel if they keep playing the same game that they played in game 1 or 2, this game would have been already over by now. But honestly, they're starting to play a lot more scared of this Motion team, and honestly, I don't really blame them. Motion's put in some quality chances on net, and not that chance, but they have put some quality chances. And as these last 15 seconds expire, it's going to be one heck of a finish.
It certainly will, or will we go to overtime? As Egg Drip pops it up, big C-dubs there, but can't beat out the defender. Blah taking control in the midfield, pops it away. The inverse just going to look to put this one down. Blah keeping it up. Smegs there off the backboard. The inverse sends it away, and it's going to touch down. Overtime. Game number 3. This is a do or die scenario for Motion. And I got to ask, Gallium, what's up with that prediction? What do you think's about to happen right here? Is Motion going home?
Honestly, I think they're going home. I think they're going home in the sweep. I think they're going home in a to-go box from the Chinese takeout. I don't think they're making it any farther, unfortunately, but they are looking pretty solid right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they scored, but I feel like the Raptors are gonna have this is a Rocket League moment pretty soon here.
They might quite possibly. We will have to see. 30 seconds into this OT. As the ball's popped up, big C-dubs is there. Egg Drip. Back to Inverse. Inverse sticking with it. Gets a pop over one. The double commit coming out from Raptors defensively. Big C-dubs beats him out off the backboard. This could be dangerous for the Raptors. Block and a miss his touch. Egg Drip bounces it off the side. Smegalodon and Inverse going to fake each other out. Big C-dubs falling it out of the corner. Tries to get a bump on Boxel, but can't do too much with it. Egg Drip going to 50 with him. The ball is bouncing in the midfield. Inverse takes control of it up the sidewall. Sticking with it in the corner. Boxel to box him out. Ball is hit by Egg Drip towards the net. Blah's up to get in front of it. Raptors safe again. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Man, this is crazy so far. But I just feel like Motion's got the upper hand here, Gallium. Big C-dubs with the shot down, but Blah with a huge save. But I can't help but feel like Motion's just spent a little bit more time in the defensive zone of Raptors than they have, than the reverse scenario.
Honestly, with my Raptors prediction, I'm kind of regretting it now, as Motion has had...
never
mind. I take it back. I'm sorry, viewers at home. I didn't mean to jinx it. Sorry, Momentum Org. I apologize. As Megalodon, just going to pass it over to Blah. It's an easy finish. Quality goal. That's what we like to see from the Nemesis Gaming League. As it was a beautiful sweep from the Raptors, and just a great game all around. I could say so many just great things about this team, and honestly, the Motion roster on the other side of it has some great things going for them. I think they played really well, considering that they went against probably the top team in Challenger. I think they have a lot of good things going for them.
Yeah, certainly. Raptors staying undefeated, getting the sweep against Motion. Congratulations and hats off. They played their hearts out, especially at game number 2. They just went to town. But Motion putting up a really good fight in games 1 and 3. Just didn't have what it took to hand Raptors their first loss. But hey, it is what it is. Which team will be able to hand them their first loss is a good question that I'd like to know the answer to. What do you know any other teams that might possibly be able to stop the Raptors in Challenger, Gallium?
With my unbiased opinion, I'm gonna have to go with Flame. I think Shorts, excellent player, and I think the rest of that roster with Sodak and the boys are gonna take down Raptors. I'm calling it here, folks. I mean, it's gonna happen. Listen, if that game ends up getting streamed, just put your channel points all on Flame for that one.
Boom, there you go. You love to see the competition, especially the wholesome, both of those orgs just doing real good stuff. I love both of those orgs. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our second match of the night. We got one more coming your way. We're going to take a short break here. It might be shorter than normal. I'm not sure if this match, I heard something about maybe it's getting expedited up a couple of minutes to move things along. Maybe not. At most, we'll be back in probably roughly 10 minutes. Gallium, I want to thank you for joining me up here in the booth. It was a pleasure casting that game with you.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure casting with you, Psycho. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to this Challenger game, and I hope to see you for the next one.
Oh, yeah, and a quick couple shout outs before we go. Shout out to Krippus, not only for being a Don and being a streamer and helping this thing just move along super smoothly, but also for the resub for 21 months now. And of course, the Beast, not Rilo, with the resub for 8 months. Hey, man, appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody showing up. And after a quick break, we'll be right back with some more Rocket League.